You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense, but other than that, man, he good. He ready for Canelo. There you go. There you go.
Terence Crawford is seeking help from as many people as possible ahead of the fight against Canelo Alvarez in September. He was at the David Benavidez versus Benavidez-Morell press conference yesterday, not as a spectator, but for a training session with David Benavidez after the conference. After getting some lessons from Floyd Mayweather a week ago, Terence Crawford has moved on to one man that has been heavily involved in talks regarding a fight against Canelo Alvarez for years. Of the fighters of this generation, aside from Benavidez-Morell, who defeated Canelo Alvarez some years back, David Benavidez seems to be the one with the deepest knowledge on Canelo Alvarez. The Mexican monster has never lacked confidence that he'll defeat Canelo Alvarez if they ever meet in the boxing ring.
Fight luck with Benavidez. Who do you favor?
I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good.
However, Canelo Alvarez has always turned him down. Now, Terence Crawford has decided to meet David Benavidez as he prepares for his fight against Canelo Alvarez. The pair spent a good time discussing Canelo's boxing style and technique before showing each other what they thought about Canelo Alvarez's matchup. David Benavidez has long held a reputation as a feared competitor in boxing, earning the boogeyman moniker for his dominance in the ring.
You know, first of all, I try to shake his hand, you know what I mean? I try to be cool. Because last press conference, you know, we did the talking, but then in the middle, after, we was cordial, we were shaking hands and stuff, so, no, I was just expecting the same thing.
However, his upcoming fight against Benavidez-Morell promises to be more than just another bout. It's personal. Scheduled for February 1st at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, this highly anticipated showdown has been building for years, with Morell relentlessly calling out Benavidez. Morell, undefeated with an 11-0 record and 9 knockouts, is confident he can dismantle the World Boxing Council interim champion. However, Benavidez has his sights set on more than just a win.
I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talks, and I'm not in this position because of any.
As for the fight against Crawford, Canelo Alvarez had never been sold on the idea that Crawford would do that, since he is so undersized that he would have every reason to follow an elusive fight plan. He's a good fighter, I know that, Alvarez said of Crawford. He thinks he can do everything. But I think he knows it's a little bit different at 154. Good fighter, but that's why there are weight classes. I like Terence Crawford and his style. It's just different. You can see that in that fight against Madrimov. It's just different.
Position, if he wants to work with me, is in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like, what was
it's not a.
As for the others, Alvarez floated the suggestion that it might be best to wait just a little longer to meet unbeaten former 168-pound title holder David Benavidez, as Benavidez pursues a date with whoever will be crowned the undisputed light heavyweight champion when unbeaten Russians Benavidez-Morell and Artur Beterbiev fight in Saudi Arabia on Oct 12. People want to see that fight, they'll have to pay, Alvarez said. He's also interested in taking a fight in Japan, where one of the fighters he most admires, former featherweight champion Oscar Larios of Mexico, fought many times.
It's not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants...
I like to go fight by fight, but I definitely would like to have the experience to go fight in Japan, Alvarez said. I grew up watching Jorge Linares. He went to Japan a lot of times. I really want to go there and have that experience. As for Saudi Arabia, it remains to be seen if he'll ever go there. Canelo is highly dissatisfied with the boxing federation, including Alalshikh, for his approach towards him.
Yo no estoy pidiendo esa pelea. Al final
Claro que no. La quiero para mi hijo, por favor.
Sí, no, aquí yo creo que Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first.
According to reports, Alvarez might be looking to finally face David Benavidez in the near future, but the boxing star has asked a massive $200 million for his fight, and Alalshikh appears to be not in the mood to do it Alvarez's way. Turkey Alalshikh has changed the dynamics of boxing in recent years and is the main reason why the sweet science is making strides in combat sports again. However, Despite this, Canelo Alvarez is not inclined to follow his path, and Alalshikh feels the same way. In his latest move, Alalshikh has stepped forward to issue a shutdown to Alvarez.
Biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
You know, it's crazy when you asking about that because you say, your matchup is coming.
While having a conversation with the media, Canelo Alvarez stated the reasoning behind asking $200 million for his fight against Benavidez. Obviously, he's a risk, he's a great fighter. Plus, he brings to the ring on fight night 25 pounds more than me. It's a risk, but I don't care. If the money's right, it can be tomorrow. Well, a $200 million fee would require a massive gate for the promoters to generate any revenue, and Turki Alalshikh knows it very well.
Payday, obviously, but I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
He's the king I want.
Taking to his X handle to disregard Canelo Alvarez's demand. I heard Canelo said that he respects me, but doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it. Because I only target big fights at fair prices. So of course, anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. That's not all. Alalshikh even questioned Alvarez's capability as a fighter, as he stated that Canelo is looking for easy fights. And I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid. So I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy, show-only fights.
Right now,
Yeah.
Turki has said that he's not interested in the fight anymore. What's your reaction or your response to that?
The situation of things must be disheartening to Terence Crawford, who had seen a fight against Canelo Alvarez as the biggest fight of his career, a fight that'll guarantee him his highest payday. Crawford was open to the prospect of a tantalizing showdown with the Mexican star, assuming a lucrative offer is put on the table. You know what they say, if the money's right, we've got to fight, he said ringside.
It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent, and we knew that coming in the gate.
Crawford continued. But at the same time, he's got a fight that he was focused on his last opponent. I'm going to go back to my family, relax, enjoy this win and the accomplishments I've made in boxing. When pressed again about a fight with Canelo, Crawford added,
The right hand wasn't bothering me. I wasn't really too much worried about the right hand. He landed a couple of times at the end of the round where he was trying to steal it around.
It's not so important to me. It's just another milestone towards greatness, and financially wise. But before Alvarez started with Crawford, he and Turki Alalshikh had gone at it, and their feud began in the early days of some months back, after Turki Alalshikh, the man who has served as the figurehead for the Riyadh season movement and is primarily responsible for injecting life into the boxing world, posted an informative update on social media.
Like Alalshikh say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
He discussed his plans to continue producing boxing events in the United States and provided information on potential next steps for some of the top names he's already worked with over the past few years. Most notably, he called out Canelo regarding a fight with Crawford. It's not something he wants anymore. Crawford has shared his desire to fight Canelo, calling it a legacy fight that could provide generational wealth. Alalshikh had publicly stated his intentions to make the fight happen.
I said to him, we will send you 2 gloves if you want to play in Saudi Arabia. That's it. He said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari.
Also, Canelo was asked to give the payout amount he'd want to fight Crawford, and he told one reporter, $150 million. It's unclear if that was a serious demand or posturing. It's also unclear if that response pushed Alalshikh to abandon making a Canelo-Crawford superhighway. In any case, the fight appeared dead back then. Those of us who have been around the boxing world for a while know that death is a day-to-day concept, especially in fight negotiations. If both sides legitimately desire to fight, it can and will happen eventually. Aside from Crawford, arguably the biggest fight for Saul right now remains Benavidez, who is a volume puncher fighter who poses the biggest threat to the Mexican.
Real champion is
at 168 is. Now just give me the fight that we all want to see. Who wants to see David Benavidez versus Canelo? That's what you guys want to see?
Speaking to ESPN about a potential showdown with the undisputed super middleweight champion, Benavidez said, "The reason why this fight is not happening is because Canelo doesn't want it to happen. Plain and simple. I mean, the money is there. The anticipation from the fight fans is there. It would be an amazing event." Nevertheless, the 27-year-old will have to wait his turn for a shot at undisputed glory. The American elaborated on his knowledge of Canelo Alvarez when he was to face Munguia. He advised that Munguia has to throw combinations and then escape to the outside to keep from getting hit back by Canelo when the pair face off in the ring next weekend. Benavidez believed that he shouldn't fight Saul on the inside as that's where he thrives. When asked if the Mexican could beat Canelo, the monster Bandera Roja told the Sean Zittel YouTube channel, "I think so. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight."
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight. Munguia, you know, he's a strong fighter. He's a combination puncher. And if you see the fighters that give Canelo problems, are the combination puncher.
He is a strong fighter, he's a combination puncher, and if you see the fighters that give Canelo problems, they're combination punchers. Benavidez also mentioned that he should tread carefully during the fight and be wary of avoiding punishment from Alvarez. He added, "The only thing he has to do is keep his distance. He can't be on the inside against Canelo because that's what Canelo thrives at. He loves throwing body shots. He will find you. So he has to keep his distance, punch in combinations, and get away."
Canelo, because that's what Canelo thrives at. He loves throwing those body shots, and he will find it. So he has to keep his distance, punching combinations, and get out the way. If he doesn't have to be there, then don't be there. Don't receive unnecessary.
Benavidez further stated that if he is successful in avoiding punches, it would certainly take a heavy toll on Alvarez's performance. Moreover, he was also all praise for the sheer power behind his punches. If he doesn't have to be there, then don't be there and receive unnecessary punishment. I've been watching Canelo for a long time. I've got a good game plan for him. If he is able to do that, it's going to be a tough fight. He can crack too. You could see that when he fought John Ryder, his power punching. It's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be easy like people say it is. He is a tough fighter. He does get hit a lot, but sometimes in boxing, it's inevitable. You're going to get hit.
Munguia is able to do that, and it's going to be a tough fight because Munguia can crack too. Munguia can crack. You can see that when he fought John Ryder. You know, he's power punch. He can crack. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be easy like how people say it is. You know, Munguia is a tough fighter. You know, it's Mexican blood. He's a warrior. So it's going to be a good fight.
Interestingly, David Benavidez appears to have accepted the reality of not securing a showdown with Saul Canelo Alvarez and has welcomed the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia. Despite his persistent efforts to be recognized as a serious challenger to the Mexican champion, Canelo's position seems unwavering to Benavidez's disadvantage. As a result, in recent weeks, the Arizona native has shifted focus towards new challenges in the light heavyweight division. He has confirmed his next bout at 175 pounds against Ukrainian Oleksandr Gvozdyk, scheduled for June, despite being named the WBC super middleweight mandatory challenger last year, a position that ultimately allowed Canelo to evade facing Benavidez without risking his title. For Benavidez, who has struggled to secure a match against Canelo, the situation has prompted him to pursue other avenues. The idea of facing Canelo was further complicated by the demand for a staggering $150 million purse by Benavidez for serious negotiations to proceed. Also, there's been an even more recent hindrance to the fight between Alvarez and Benavidez, favors Benavidez, who is 6 years younger, 6 inches taller, possesses 4 inches of longer reach, and is naturally the bigger and faster fighter who appears more explosive. To curb the 33-year-old Alvarez's concerns, it was recently shared that Benavidez is open to a rehydration clause in the contract.
They're gonna say, oh, they put me that clause, so nothing to do with that fight.
However, Alvarez does not see any benefit in bullying Benavidez with weight stipulations. Yeah, a rehydration clause is a lose-lose situation because, you know, after the fight, they are going to say it was because of this. And then what? And then what? Then you're going to talk about that clause. When I beat him, they are going to say it was because of the clause. Nothing to do with that fight, Alvarez said in an interview from his training camp home near Lake Tahoe, California.
You're in a lose-lose situation too.
Yeah. It's a lose-lose situation because, you know, they're gonna, after the fight, they're gonna talk out because of this.
Much like Ryan Garcia pointed to his 136-pound catch weight and 10-pound rehydration clause as the main reason for getting knocked out by Gervonta Davis, Alvarez believes a similar narrative will be structured should he outlast Benavidez. Alvarez is definitely no stranger to weight clauses in big-time fights. When the still green Alvarez fought and suffered his first career loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. in 2013, Alvarez was the World Boxing Council and World Boxing Association 154-pound champion at the time, but had to fight at a 152-pound catch weight. Mayweather forced the clause after originally requesting the fight to take place at 147 pounds and 150 pounds before settling at 152 pounds. Alvarez weighed 165 pounds on the night of the fight, while Mayweather weighed in at 150.5 pounds and fought at 150 pounds.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation because, you know, they're gonna, after the fight, they're gonna talk out because of this.
And Alvarez had his very first loss on the night, hence, he isn't on to favor such a clause. However, David Benavidez thinks he knows why Canelo Alvarez is ducking him. Last month, it was revealed that Benavidez would move up in weight to fight Alexander Gvozdyk for the interim 175-pound WBC title after not being able to secure a fight against the 168-pound champion Canelo. While speaking to the media at Jorge Masvidal Not Diaz press conference in Miami on Wednesday, Benavidez revealed why he decided to move up in weight. I don't know what Canelo wants to do. I was the #1 contender to fight for the belt. I've been waiting 3 years. He didn't want to give me the opportunity, so I had to move up. I got tired of waiting. I want to give the fans all the best fights, and if he doesn't want to fight me, I had to move up in weight to find other fights.
I'm not scared of nobody. I've hurt everybody that's been in front of me, and Canelo's no different. And I will hurt him too, and I'll take all his belts. It's crazy that he asked for 150 million or two.
Benavidez believes Canelo doesn't want to fight him because he knows he will lose. I think he already knows what's going to happen when he fights me. I'm younger, stronger, faster, and he knows it very well, and I think that's the reason that he doesn't want to fight me. In the past, despite being 6 years the undisputed champions junior, Benavidez has rarely spoken respectfully of his rival, meaning the pound-for-pound superstar might yet break one of the unwritten rules of his world-ruling career. The intrigue and war of words around a potential Canelo versus Benavidez started inadvertently.
The WBC has ordered Canelo to fight you next if you win this. So if you do win, would you force the WBC to strip Canelo if he doesn't fight you?
Canelo was discussing the meeting between his conqueror and WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. If it's Zurdo who wins the fight, I don't want to fight with Mexicans. I represent Mexico, Alvarez told USA Today. I think Zurdo has a chance to win, and I want him to win. Canelo made these comments in the build-up to his trilogy fight against Gennady Golovkin, and it was ultimately a moot point, as Bivol boxed masterfully in Abu Dhabi last November to beat Ramirez via a wide, unanimous decision.
Career, if I don't mean anything. Maybe after he gets that money, he can buy himself a pair of balls, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the people I'm getting frustrated, I just want to fight the best. I've earned my title.
But the remarks were seized upon by Benavidez. To be honest, I feel like I'm Mexican and Ecuadorian, but I was born in the US. I feel like he's just talking about his countrymen, people from Mexico, he told a news source. I get a lot of criticism too, people saying he's American, not Mexican. That comment Canelo made, it's not for me. I'm not 100% Mexican. I'm Mexican and Ecuadorian, and I was born in the US. I feel like if he's not going to fight any more Mexicans, then what's going on? I have the World Boxing Council interim belt. We have rankings for a reason. I've earned my spot repeatedly. I won 2 title eliminators. It's not my fault that these freaking guys don't want to fight me. I don't want to keep talking and talking because we all look like freaking idiots. The walls are closing in for these fighters.
Been a vicious champion for a long, long time, and you know, I've won my shots. You know, I've earned my respect. Now the only thing that's keeping me from being champion is Canelo. You know, he doesn't.
Even though Benavidez also named the likes of Jermall Charlo, David-Morell, and Plant in this diatribe, he certainly caught Canelo's attention. I don't know, anything can happen, Canelo said when asked about a potential Benavidez fight in the aftermath of dominating Golovkin. When I say I don't want to fight Mexicans, it's because I represent Mexico. That's why. But I don't care. I'll fight anybody. My entire life, I'll fight anybody.
I don't want to fight Mexican is because I represent Mexico. And that's why. But I don't care. I fight anybody. And I fight all my entire life, anybody. What do you think?
Of course, when Canelo started his career, he boxed a string of compatriots. It is true, though, that since moving to world level, he has boxed Mexicans sparingly. What are your thoughts on David Benavidez training Terence Crawford for his fight against Canelo? Do you think this will distract him from his fight against David Morell? What are your predictions for both fights? Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez and David Morell. Let's know your thoughts in the comment section. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.